Welcome back to the Run Radio podcast. This Tell Me More segment with Brandon Green from Treehouse.vet. Welcome. My name's Trina Wilcox, and I want to hear all things Treehouse Vet. How did it get started?
Yeah, so the idea to do something for veterans that involve the outdoors and sort of like just pairing up the therapy of being outside, hearing the birds. That's where I'm at now, outside, and really finding some way to serve the veteran community has been something that me and my family have always sort of looked at. And unfortunately, it took a little bit of a hard hitting feel for me. And about a year and a half ago, I had a friend and somebody who I had coached and mentored in the Marine Corps take their own life after separating. And somebody that I had been in contact with, fairly frequently. There wasn't really a whole lot. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can do. You come out, recruiters tell you from the very beginning, whenever they start talking to you, this is the best thing you're ever going to do in your life. This is the most impactful thing. And they really build that mentality over the course of even just 4 years. Somebody who, comes in and does their time, serves their country, and then, gets out. And then you get out and you're applying to different jobs. You probably have, you're a little bit lost because not a lot of your skills normally transfer one for one, and you don't really know how to speak the corporate lingo, and so you're applying to, maybe it's just Walmart or McDonald's or just somewhere to sort of get started, in that civilian world, and you're not getting calls back. You don't get, it really takes down a dark path of, well, where am I really headed? And so he got out and he was, making these applications and really trying to start his life out here, and there's no traction. And so that hit me really hard. Again, this was somebody who I considered to be a really close friend, somebody who, came to me for questions and, coaching, and really sent me personally through a little bit of a spiral for a couple of months, but ultimately inspired me and my family to make a concerted, organized effort to helping veterans in that time of crisis and time of transition, and just to be that support organization that can create a community for them, a community of support, and in times where they need it, just maybe a relaxing afternoon in the wilderness for a little bit.
So you've touched on it a little bit, but we do often hear that vets don't often have the care that they need when they come out, but we don't know exactly why. What are a few more reasons that they're just unprepared, that we're not really aware of or sensitive enough to?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that communication piece. You go from the coaching and development that you get and give is, yelling and demanding and, a really rigid chain of command, where in, even somebody who's come out of the military with leadership experience, it's very difficult to adjust your mental models to that of American corporate life. So communication is a huge piece. How do I talk about organizing a radio network in support of a combat operation or even a training operation? What does that look like from a civilian standpoint? And how do I make sure that my resume is communicable? So communication is a really big one. And again, that mental model of everything that I've just got done doing has been told to me that it's the most meaningful thing that's ever going to happen. So is my life, is it basically on the downhill slope? And you're talking about a 22-year-old coming out of the military thinking that, well, the best thing that I've done is already over. So what do I have to look forward to? So breaking down some of those less than healthy mental tendencies is a big deal as well. And, again, finding that good job fit. I came out of an incredibly technical portion of the military, And I mean, it just doesn't translate a whole lot. And there are tools that try to help, but really, the amount of oversight and assistance that you get in the military just absolutely does not compare or translate in the civilian world.
In your opinion, why is that? Why are we having these individuals do these big, important jobs and disrupt their entire early life and not prepare them for the rest of their life?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that it comes down to a lot of just resources. You know, even in the military, your last 3 to 6 months is all trying to prepare you to transition out. I mean, to be honest, the military does a really good job trying to send people off in a meaningful way with a lot of the tools that they need. But you go from living in a barracks with all of your best friends to living in an apartment with 100 people that you might see them once, bringing in groceries or something like that. So you have this outstanding and really, really concrete form of community to now in the civilian world, you're just on your own, and it's really difficult to lay fault on anybody or to say that there's a blame anywhere because again, there are tons of organizations that try to help, and there are tons of resources in the military that try to make that transition as easy as possible. But as humans, we seek that community, we seek that tribal feeling, and you go from having such a close knit tribe to maybe you keep connection with your team or your tribe on Facebook Messenger, or you have like a Facebook group or something, but it never feels the same. And to recreate that is so difficult.
But you're trying with Treehouse.vet, you're trying to create these experiences where vets and their families, because military affects not just that individual in serving, but the whole family is kind of involved. So can you tell me a little bit about some of those things?
Yeah. So our emphasis is really, really high impact and really, really low volume. There are a lot of organizations that do great group events. 30 to 50 people, and they try to build that community and things of that nature. We really try to keep our events super small. Again, we focus on building those meaningful small tribe mentalities. So we keep our group events to 6 veterans, and then we have a small team of volunteers that helps as well. And what our goal is no matter what we do, we always emphasize the communication and the family feel. Our goal is for all 6 of those veterans to go home knowing that they could text any one of the other 5 or any of the volunteers, and they'll have any resource that they could ask for. That's the biggest thing to us. Is we're not trying to be sort of the biggest operation. We're not going for, we had 100 veterans at our event and 200 of their family members. We're going for truly changing the lives of as many people as we can, without sort of, especially we also maintain a highly local mentality, where this Springfield area, there's so many veterans just in this area that need help, and so we, again, it's small group, so our emphasis is high impact, low volume, and in a highly localized geographic area.
Okay. So if someone wants to get involved or knows someone that they feel like would love being included, how do they get started?
Well, you can always email me, Brandon at Treehouse.vet. Our website also has a lot of great resources. Specifically, we'll be publishing our event calendar this week and sort of laying out what our goals and plans are for the year. We operate on full transparency. So if there's a business or even local creators, we love working with local woodsmen and metal shops and things like that, because everybody likes to be involved, and we're always available. My phone never turns off. It's just sort of, I think that's one of the things that the founders, myself, Leah, and Bill's our head of like wildlife, and he runs our lease, makes sure that there's turkeys during turkey season and deer during deer season, and he also manages all of our guides. So right now, currently, we have 3 branded boats. So we have 3 boats that are specifically branded Treehouse that we take out for our guided fishing, and he makes sure that all those run smoothly. Leah is really our like our know everything nonprofit sort of deal. She went down and tracked down all of the paperwork and made sure that we had all of our bylaws, and you know, helped with the board appointments, and I sort of run the veteran liaison side of things. You know, there are some times where the more the less refined communication style of veterans is just necessary. That's how our brains have been conditioned to think. You know, you take an 18-year-old and drill into their head for 3 months during boot camp that this is the way somebody's going to communicate with you. Sometimes a veteran just needs to step in and be a little bit harsher with somebody, you know, and it's not mean. It's not meant to be. They're just meeting them where they are. I think that's the biggest thing. So we're always available. We have a Facebook page. You can always message that. We typically respond, I think is the verbiage that Facebook uses, typically respond within the hour. We have a network of Airbnbs that have donated time for us. So again, if there's somebody that you know that's a veteran that just needs help, or they're going through a hard time, I know that I talked to a veteran who he just couldn't pay for his daughter's recital dress, and that really, I mean, you know, you're going from doing the best thing in your life to now I can't, you know, my daughter's going to get made fun of, or, you know, what, all of the things that go into just something so simple. And so, you know, we can jump into action. We can, you know, reach out to our group of Airbnbs. We also have our lodge that's about 2 hours outside of Springfield, very remote, very quiet and relaxed. And we can just provide a separation from your problems for a little bit. So Facebook is probably the fastest, easiest way, because all of our volunteers are involved with that, and so we respond as quickly as we can. But my email also is just Brandon@Treehouse.vet, and I will always respond.
Great. And if you are typing that into your search, it's nice and easy, Treehouse.vet. Anything else you want to share before we close?
Just anybody who wants to be involved or wants to, you know, even just talk about being involved. I operate in a little bit more of a business capacity, and I can work with leadership organizations. If you're looking to hire veterans, or you're looking to even just talk to some of our veterans, we have a stack of resumes that we're happy to share with any local businesses. And again, we operate hyper locally, so you're not going to get somebody who's in California that it maybe it's all going to be super relevant. I can do mediation with a veteran that you have that's working with you, help communicate some of their frustrations, some of leadership's frustrations. I do try to operate on a value for value sort of mentality when it comes to donations and things of that nature. I'm always going to be a resource that's available to local small businesses, and trying to help them understand what it means to bring a veteran in, how they can expect the veteran to maybe communicate in those first few months, especially if they're fresh out, and how to prepare your organization's culture to really help the vets feel at home and feel like they can contribute to your business.
Very good. Sounds great. If you ever have any more events that you have coming up to share, let us know and we will talk about it.
Perfect. Will do. Thanks.
Thank you.